You're listening to Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers RPG podcast. Join the heroes of Iacon as they defend Cybertronian civilization from the remnants of Cybertron First to Lord Starscream's egotistical leadership, and beyond to the unknown threats on the other side of distant stars.
Welcome back to Empire of Rust, the first and greatest and still the most spectacular Transformers RPG podcast. That's right, world. I said we are the best, and if you don't like it, well, tough, because we still are. We had quite an episode, or quite a pair of episodes, didn't we, guys? We had an old friend come back.
Old friend? Well,
who?
That's very kind of you.
Who?
And you know what? I'm just going to toss it right to Adam here, because one of the fan favorite characters is now back among the living, and you know what? We gotta hear what Sweet Spot has been up to. So, Adam, take it away. What has the good ambassador been doing these last few weeks?
Well, let's first get a proper greeting going on here. Well, would you look at these bots? Carapace? Is that you? You put on some more armor, haven't you? Good to see you, my faithful friends.
Good save there.
I'm like looking at myself. I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, have I gotten any more armor? I don't think I've got new weapons. Check these things out.
Does this armor make me look fat?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's clear, but I would like to think I look past your weapons. Look past your very formidable facade. Look deeper into your soul, my old friend.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Don't worry, I'll let you know when I get there. And Wildstrike, you lofty son of a bot. Some new mods on you. Looking good, my friend, looking good. Hey, there's hardly a scratch on your nose there. Now, either you're getting better with your landings, or you're getting better with the recovery from those landings. Am I right?
Buildings haven't been getting in my way lately. You're looking new as well.
Wait a minute. I know this place. This is my very good friend Magnum, isn't it? And with a new pink coat. I like it. It's bold.
What?
What happened to the old gray one? You still smoking? Good. You let me know if that stops. I got a mechanic that'll check you out, unless you prefer a building super. Who am I kidding? You'll all last us all. But if you are the last of us, don't let the guilt get you. I wouldn't want you to change your appearance into a mortuary for us. That'd be creepy. Hey.
Yeah.
At least I might have to change my laundromat, though.
Yeah. It is a good look for you, though. Legionnaire. Hey, Legionnaire, how's Zaron? I'm messing with you. I grab him by the shoulders. How are you, man? I missed you most of all.
I'm doing good.
Then I'll embrace him and sway slightly for a moment before tapping out. Ha! Now I'm messing with them. I'll nod and look over at all these slack-jawed faces.
I like you too?
I didn't know you were gone.
Well, isn't that grand? Who are you to be so chummy with everyone, yet they've never said a word about you? My name is Sweet Spot, ambassador of Velostron. And you are? Denizen, liar. They told me Sweet Spot was dead, and I've seen this picture. I've seen his picture. You're not him. So what are you playing at? Denizen, my dear. I don't give a broken gearbox what you've heard or seen. The facts are these. I'm alive. You're alive. And we're enjoying our very first interaction. You don't mind if I get this close to inspect your form, do you?
Denizen stares down as he approaches and realizes that he's lifted her hand to his lips without looking away from her eyes and kisses it.
How dare you? I'm not one of your fancy women bots, ready to swoon at the first amorous overtures. And keep your distance, fucko. I'm dangerous. since I've already died before, I don't suppose I have anything left to lose. I will give you space. You are quite the sight, near or far. Are you completely mental? You called Carapace fat, wild straight, brain damaged, and you're best friends with this fella, who we've only just picked up an hour before passing through the space bridge. And worst of all, you're very good friends with Magnum. Magnum, of all the bots, he's the worst. I should have known someone named Sweaty Spot would be this much of a creep. That sounds like something Rex would say. Wait a minute. You guys didn't bring Rex along, did you? Rex, where you at? Here, Rex. Here, Bot. Good, Bot. You want some tires, Rex?
He's not here,
you do. Yes, you do.
He looks around for a moment.
Afraid he's away, but
You really didn't bring him, did you?
no, afraid not. He's on hiatus.
Don't be such a dick. I would say y'all brought the wrong Yakaran, but I kind of like this upgrade. Don't be a creep either. I didn't like most of these lands, and they don't care for me. I hate Magnum, and you're currently arrested dead center between the two. You can't hate me forever. I can, and I will. Most come around. I won't. Oh, I beg to differ. Why would I come around? I only joined up with this lot to get some revenge on Starscream. May he rust from the inside out. I've been collecting some evidence on him to bring him to justice. You mean put to death, right? Well, you say tomato, I say potato. I could just kiss you right now. Challenge accepted.
Sweet Spot moves in quick and kisses Denizen on the mouth hard for a long moment. Denizen, shocked at the action accidentally invoked by the phrase, pushes Sweet Spot away.
That was unexpectedly disturbing. Yeah, I didn't feel right about that. I mean, is it me? Is it you? No, it couldn't be you. It's probably me. I mean, I think it is. We're the same person.
And they both slowly turn to look directly at the fourth wall and then away from each other in shame.
What is it like to sexually harass yourself?
I'm going to the bar to get pissed. Don't follow me.
Oh my God, Sweet Spot. You've done the unthinkable. You've made her leave. Like,
Sweet Spot.
Was that a bad thing? I can get it back if you want.
No.
What was your name?
Magnum's gonna run up to Sweet Spot. He's gonna grab him in a big hug and jump up and down with him if he can.
Wow, you're really embracing this new pink coat, aren't you?
I knew you'd be back.
It's good to see you too, guys. Hey, I do have some stuff to tell you about what I found out while I was away. But maybe we should probably get off the street here. How about we go into this place over here? Wait a minute. Degenerate didn't go in here, did she?
Oh my goodness.
Did things go according to plan?
Pretty much to plan, I think. Let's tuck in here. I'll tell you all about it.
Magnum, you managed to get the bus pulled over off the highway onto a quick little off-ramp over there and down into the city proper. And what do you want to do? You just want to find a restaurant or something you can jump into or something like that?
Well, is there anyone else on this bus? I mean, right now there's no one else attacking us, right?
Right. All of the other racers have either fallen behind or been crushed under your wheels.
There's no other passengers, right?
Right. Well, there is...
I thought it was a personal transport.
It's kind of like a campaign bus, so it's not like a huge, long, public transport bus, but it's certainly got some space for everything.
We should probably take Moonracer where she's going, first.
Well, don't forget that she was your escort, so she'll hang around, if you don't need her anymore and you want to dismiss her, she'll be okay leaving you by yourselves, but it is her job right now to help you out if needed.
But it's diplomatically, though, with the visiting people, or am I misinterpreting that?
No. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much okay. If you need some, help getting around places, then that's why she's here.
All right, maybe we should stick together, then. I mean, what I could do is find an empty lot and just transform there.
All right. Yes, you can pull off the highway and find some place to stop for a little while. Moonracer kind of busies herself trying to straighten up the bus a little bit because she knows she's gonna catch shit for getting the getting the transport wrecked. Because at this point, pretty much all the windows are blown out.
Oh yeah, this thing is destroyed.
Several bots had come in through the front, and that's all messed up. There's a head-sized indentation on the front of the bus.
There's no windshield.
No windshield.
There are windshield wipers.
The front, the back left tire is all tore up.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that Sweet Spot and Denizen had this conversation, and like Denizen was still magnetized to the floor.
Or like if you actually like you came up to kind of like do the handshake thing, but that's actually what pulled you guys together, and that's why you were stuck. Like you were like kissing her like accidentally. You're like, it's not me, it's not me.
Awkward. Yeah, call me the king of awkward there. All right, so once we're in this place and kind of like seated in some corner that we're all tucked in. All right. So as I was trying to keep a low profile, I was doing some research on Starscream's rise to power. The Titan that proclaimed him the chosen one, in air quotes, was named, what was it? Metro Titan, yeah. He teleported over onto Cybertron and lodged himself into the strata of the planet. When he was discovered, he came back online for a moment to be, quote-unquote, in the presence of someone who could rule. Now, that all, of course, spread to Starscream's rise to power quite suddenly. But before the instability of him fusing to the planet's surface caused an explosion, that whole quote just went, viral. Of course, months later, Optimus Prime raised a Titan from the underground on Earth to serve as Cybertron's embassy, cementing his position as a living prime. Of course, we all know that old ditty, and a near religious figure of the colony to the colony as well. Now, from what I've heard from accounts, that Titan looked exactly like the one that was trapped under Cybertron and spoke about Starscream, which is incredibly interesting. Of course, Metro Titan's announcement about Starscream is public knowledge, along with Prime raising a Titan, but the Titan himself transformed into city mode so quickly that only a few people got a good look at it. And I think that is some interesting stuff that could come to bear. Now, more recently, if you recall, yes, Carapace.
This is more of a Patrick out of character question first. So you're saying that the Titan that said Starscream is cool pretty much immediately died afterwards?
Right. And
looked just like the one that was found on Earth?
Right. And
so
that one...
so this weird cloning technology thing that we had come into contact with, could that account for that?
Cloning? I'm a little lost on that.
All right, you weren't there for that, were you?
Right.
Yeah, we have stuff to talk to you about, too.
All right. Well, anyway, Carapace, if you remember those bots that were giving me so much trouble when we originally met, I believe Outburst was the main protagonist for me.
Instigator.
Antagonist, yeah. I'm the good guy here.
That's the guy that told you to get lost and you promptly did?
Right. Well, after my quote-unquote death, he took the opportunity to consolidate my territory, as I suspected he would. He took over a large section of the city, but not only the precincts I'd be responsible for, but the districts of several other prominent aldermen. And most of them have mysteriously disappeared. Some have met with accidents, while others have quietly retired. All of them have been sponsored or mentored by Outburst personally. He is taking a page out of Starscream's rulebook, I think, or maybe just sharing some tactics. He's been quietly retrofitting residential towers in those districts, gutting them and turning them into landing shuttle service, cheap flying transportation. But of course, here on Velocitron, that business venture is not taking off. Velostrons prefer road racing, and no one is certain just what his plan is. Over time, while I've been back here investigating him, I found that the funding for him has been coming from Cybertron. I'm not exactly sure where, but it's got the smell of Starscream all over it.
So that would be a causal link. If this guy's being funded by Starscream, getting rid of you would be beneficial to both of them.
Well, I think he'll have a pretty hard time of it without a few of his flunkies. Remember Talon and Clawjaw? I tracked them down and they've been dealt with.
Really? How did you manage that?
I'll tell you about that sometime. That's quite the tale for telling, but not right now. The last thing is, I couldn't quite keep away from the tracks once I got back home here, and of course I've had to kind of go into disguise just so I can keep myself under wraps, and I have been racing somewhat anonymously. So if anyone's trying to put the dots together, just try to steer them away from my true identity.
All right. Question. More for past reference.
Yes, was from the building in the back.
Now, was Sweet Spot, before he quote unquote died, a congressperson who had a certain area of Velocitron as sort of his district, or was he just an ambassador?
Yes, I actually had a district on the city on Navitas that I was already an alderman of, but then I got, as part of the deal for me taking the position, I needed to go on this mission for this green spark, and to do that, I needed to kind of postpone my appointment here on the city. So I asked my boss, who at the time was, technically still is, Outburst, and he said, you know what, we could use a junior representative on on Cybertron. So if you'd like that post, you have a year to report to that duty, and then along the way you can take care of whatever you need to take care of. And then after that appointment is done, you can come back here and pick up your job. And me being a young bot and not too experienced in the ways of politics, Velocitron or otherwise, I took him at face value.
Gotcha. So, did you cease to be an alderman though once you were pronounced dead? Was that
probably? That's why he took steps with this guy Talon and this other guy Clawjaw to take me out of the picture before I even got to Cybertron. So he was planning on taking me out anyway.
And then he took over your districts, pretty much.
Yeah, and other bots as well. So he pretty much owns the city. Almost.
I don't know anything about how Lostronian government. All right. That's what it sounded like.
All I know is they move fast.
It does move fast.
I kind of tap my chest. I'm like, we want to discuss this now?
You like this look? You're talking about that.
Yeah.
That we're going to need to find a way to get that where it belongs, which is, several hundred feet below us.
I'll keep it close to my chest.
If you would, sir, I would appreciate that, and all that you've done so far to keep it safe. I thank you.
Do we know that whether Metro Titan's still there, just sitting there dead, or on Cybertron, or the alleged Metro Titan?
Go ahead and make a culture check for any new information you want.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to aid, feel free to aid.
I
will aid.
25.
That is solid for someone with almost no ranks.
I rolled a 16.
Keep forgetting how cultured Carapace is getting.
Cultured as a bag of yogurt.
I was going to make a Petri dish joke.
Yogurt comes in Petri dishes? That's disgusting.
An auger plate. a nutrient auger plate.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
That's a great Transformer name. Auger plate.
I think I did it. I got a 10, so...
It's +2.
+2.
So now it makes me wonder, like, if the whole thing was a setup, like, if, like, no matter who walked into that room, Metro Titan was, like, programmed to say that and then get brain dead afterwards. You know? Like,
Yeah.
we, like, just reboot him and all of a sudden he's just like, oh, wait, guess what? All of us are meant to rule, too.
Well, that's really no secret.
45.
45. Damn.
Max ranks, max roll, and a lot of help.
Yeah, no kidding. Here I was. I thought, oh, hey, you know, I'm setting the DCs a little high for you guys. Nah, 45. You got this. All right. So say again. What exactly do you want to know?
Well, I mean, Metro Titan, is he still lying where he was when he died? Like, yeah, he told us the Starscream and he croaked but he was sitting there on Cybertron at the time, right?
So here's what you know, and with 45, you know a lot. You might have even been there when it happened, and you probably read some scientific reports about the study of the event. So what you are certain happened is this: when the signal went out, when Cybertron was reformatted and came back to life, and all the Transformers were, the signal went out for everyone to come back home, come back to Cybertron, Metro Titan was probably out somewhere in deep space. So what he did is he space bridged himself directly to Cybertron. However, something went wrong, and he did not come out in orbit. He came in semi-phased and like melded with the actual strata of the planet.
Came in a little hot.
Yep, he did.
The dreaded transporter accident.
Yep. And he wasn't discovered for, I think, like a few weeks or so, but as Prowl and Wheeljack were doing some exploration and looking at some odd readings out in the wastelands, they found him, and he was, again, merged in a cavern underneath the surface of the planet. Starscream, thinking that the two Autobots were trying to undermine him, and to be honest, they probably were, followed them in secret. And not only that, but he actually invited like a whole bunch of just like neutral citizens to follow him and to kind of bear witness to what they were doing, because he was trying to get them into trouble. Starscream arrived right after Wheeljack and Prowl did, and the moment that Starscream stepped into the cavern and got sight of Metro Titan woke up, proclaimed him as one who can rule, and shortly after, like minutes after that, because Prowl and Wheeljack figured out that, hey, the teleportation effect as he got fused to the planet made his power core, his spark, like unstable, and they need to get out, otherwise he is going to just blow up and take like a good chunk of the area with him. Thankfully, no one city was around or anything. He was just kind of there. Unfortunately, Starscream did bring a bunch of neutrals and citizens down into the cavern with him, so they all witnessed what happened. Thankfully, no one died. They were able to evacuate before he exploded. But yeah, that's...
So no one
besides
besides Metro Titan died.
Correct.
How much did they actually see of him? Was it just his head sort of in a cave?
Titan lives matter.
Yeah. It was like his head and his shoulders, like his head, his shoulder, like top of his torso. Most of him was kind of buried into the core of the planet, though. So
presumably the crater's still there.
Yes.
Or he blew up.
Yeah, it's now sitting. It's now holding an energon leak. We've been there.
Is that Oaks?
Actually, it would be kind of cool if it was. You know what? We'll say it is. Why not?
It is.
Wasn't my original plan, but we can go with it.
Hey, we could always go back, look for some more Sparkies.
Well, I mean, I was thinking if he was a duplicate, we'd have to investigate him to try to figure out whether he was. Because if they just pulled another one out of the ground, who's the fake, who's the real.
Right.
Because it's awfully, it's about as convenient as it gets that they find his head in a cave and Starscream just brings along of random citizens with him just in time. I mean,
yeah, that doesn't sound like a Starscream scheme at all, does it?
Feels tactical.
Yes, it does.
So if they sort of tried to clone a Titan, but it probably didn't work too well, but probably just enough to get his head going, It's a lot of raw materials right there, but... So that means oh boy. And no one's sure if Metro Titan is the guy who's on Earth. A couple bots saw him similar looking, and that's it.
Right. And because he's an embassy now, chances are probably pretty slim getting him to return to his bot form. At least not without having to evacuate the whole place. We don't know how to evacuate a whole place, do we, Magnum?
No.
It's not like we can just walk in and say, "Hey, is there a bomb in here?" Right, Carapace? Is there a bomb in you?
That's what you call a callback.
Yes.
And from what I understand, it's not easy to talk to these things, right? Only certain Transformers can talk to them.
Yeah, with the 45, I'll give you that too. Typically, you're going to need a city speaker present, someone who is trained to speak with them, because their thought process is so much more complicated and massive than you guys. So you can attempt it, but you might not be able to make sense of what he's actually saying.
Because obviously the one Metro Titan could speak at least a little bit.
Yeah, how did you speak to him, Sweet Spot?
Well, I kind of crashed through his bulkhead doors. Ended up in his headspace. So it really wasn't so much a communication as just being pounded by his thoughts.
Okay. So that didn't... You're not a city speaker, though, right?
Not as far as I know.
Is it a title, or is it just a skill set?
Both. Generally, like you train and you practice, and you get better at it. And then if you're good enough at it, you are effectively given like the title of city speaker. And
maybe I should give it a shot.
So did anyone have to ask this new Titan what his name was?
Not that you know of.
Yeah, I didn't get that information.
So what do we want to do with this?
Well, further investigation to come up with some proof that we can then use would be prudent. Outside of that, there's...
Proof to do what? Prove that that Titan was fake and that the whole thing was a setup from Starscream?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty big conspiracy.
It is. And it's been going on long enough that there'll be plenty of bots that'll be upset about it.
Yeah, but that would be big, big, big. In many ways.
Oh, don't worry. We can transform into alloy. We can handle big, big, big.
Let's actually review the evidence that you guys have picked up so far. What do you remember that you have that you've gotten?
Well, we know that Starscream assassinated Middlehawk.
Mm-hmm. You actually have the video footage of that.
Yep.
We have all this new evidence.
Well, we have the evidence that the voice recordings that Starscream was involved in the execution of Sweet Spot.
Indeed.
Right. You managed to get some of that along with the communications between Starscream and the people up on I'm forgetting the name of it. Not Magnum's planet. The Scarvix. Thank you. Wow, I couldn't remember that.
Planet, I like the ring of that. How about we change it right now?
Sure, just ask me. You never forget the place you died.
But the person that he communicated with on Scarvix, that guy's already being prosecuted, though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting him to turn on Starscream will probably not be easy, but the whole...
We have that.
Don't they do plea bargains over there on Scarvix?
I was just going to say, but I mean, like, what sort of plea bargain would you need to turn against Starscream?
I don't know.
I
I'm sure
would
guarantee that the bot's going down for good, because he is one pesky, persistent little cockroach.
Yes, he is.
I think it's be more of a challenge just getting in to see this dude, though. They don't really like us over at Scarvix.
They don't?
They don't like you.
Well, I mean, yeah, they don't like me. But,
Yeah, but you're presumed, you were made innocent.
yeah, but then the stadium blew up. They don't like what happens when we're around.
Yeah, there was a lot of anti-bot sentiment going around the streets there, from what I heard.
That's the
It took
reason
me a
we
little
left
while to
quickly.
recover.
Don't forget, you also have the evidence that Lamplighter and Waveform have something to do with the assassinations of, or the dropping out of various candidates.
So we need to find them because that's who we're looking for now.
Yeah.
And if we can get them to turn on Starscream, or whoever hired them, which will likely be Starscream, that will be another nail in the coffin.
Indeed.
It's probably them that, or at least one of them. One's a small one, right? Who assassinated Depth Charge too.
Wait a minute. Death Charge is dead?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And not just quote unquote dead.
Yeah, we are going to have to revisit the definition of dead now, aren't we? Sorry about that.
Wolfang is also passed.
Who?
That's Wolfang.
Still not ringing the bell.
Wolfang's dead?
Hadn't you met him? I thought you met him.
Yep.
He's the Yakaran wolf guy that was following me around.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Had a
That was
little screw loose and a chip on his shoulder because you left him like high and dry way back on that, what was it, the bomb in there at the square?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was episode 2.
But that was unrelated.
Right?
That was unrelated to anything that you were doing. But he also happens to be dead. So
Okay.
Oh yeah, and we got big giant spiders after us too.
Sorry for your loss and sorry for your gain, I guess.
oh, did you see the
Giant
crossbow?
spiders.
Yeah, check out this.
That does look very nice.
Check out this crossbow. This thing is nasty.
Can I hold that a moment? Wow.
It's attached to my self. So no.
Just let it loose.
It
for
was
a second.
attached to him too. It's like beating people with a dismembered leg.
So is this some sort of like a grappler, or is this a standardized weapon for you? How do you like using it?
It's an advanced crossbolter.
Yeah,
So
it
just
certainly is.
it's a crossbolt that just does a real ton of damage.
So the question is, Sweet Spot, are you going to be officially alive yet?
Well, I'd rather keep it under wraps as long as possible. So once Starscream gets sent that I am back from the dead and probably looking to nail him for helping put me in a quote-unquote coffin, he's going to be on the defensive, and we don't want that. We want to catch him by surprise.
You probably should scour off the mustache.
A scour. I got this
Right.
whole great new body paint job going on here. Like white instead of black and red pinstriping instead of just detailing. I mean, come on now. This is almost as different as I could
He's
possibly
our new friend, Pit
Not-
Stop.
Not
Pit Spot.
everybody looks at you based only on appearance. There are
you
people
say-
that aren't shallow. You know, like
They
I
recognize
recognized you
you.
immediately. Yeah, I recognized you immediately, and it's
Well, we've shared some people having cabinets, and I'll put my hand on his shoulder. I'll go on tiptoes to put my hand on his shoulder.
Did you guys feel him coming as well?
We're not
That was
that
up.
close.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a sensate kind of way. I'm talking about like, once we got to the planet and he started approaching, I thought I felt him like do the alloy spark thing.
Yeah, I thought that was indigestion.
I do want to say I chose a different route to go about my business today than I usually do. Maybe that was the calling.
Hey, how did you know we were here?
I didn't. I actually just saw a gang of bots going up against a bus, and I remember somewhat fondly Steve, so I figured I'd help an old bus out. Little did I know, it was all my old friends.
That is a pretty amazing coincidence, isn't it?
It is.
All right, so a meta question for you guys. Were you going to try and do anything with the green spark while on Velocitron right now?
Yes, knowing that Navitas is probably running as close to dropping dead as he ever has, I would like to get that in him ASAP.
This is going to be huge. Like, is Velocitron ready for this? Like, in theory, this is like almost like a resurrection. Like, he's going to be like returned to his youth, effectively.
Yep. I expect the headwinds will become quite a bit stronger now up here on the ground outside. But don't worry about us, Carapace. You Yukarans are used to dealing with things and being very survivable. We Velocitrons, as everything we do, we adapt quickly.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see it happen either way.
Very good, then. Let's make that happen, shall we?
So what is like Moonracer saying in all this? Like, what the fuck are you people involved in?
Well, I'm imagining right now you're kind of like keeping her to the side, like you're not letting her in the Magnum in the Magnum house.
Okay.
At least
like being like, you're so rude.
I imagine you don't want to let her know just yet, because I mean this would literally be like world changing for her.
Yeah, multiple world changes.
Yeah,
because it might affect Earth because that might be the fake bot, the fake Titan, which like that would cause a stain on Optimus Prime's,
Yeah, this is kind of harsh because if we do take down Starscream, we're going to take Prime down a notch or two as well. In the process.
He needs that. He needs that. Let's get him get back down to martyr as opposed to savior.
I kind of see how like Carapace is going to react to Prime, and I've kind of seen like as you've played it too, but I don't think like Sweet Spot's really like said how he feels about Primes, because Primes, again, they are a religious figure in the world of Transformers, at least in this continuity.
Yeah, so are the Fate Weavers, and you know how I feel about them.
Well, that's why I said I know Carapace. I know what Carapace thinks, but what is Sweet Spot?
I heard about this guy, this human thing, Voltaire. Like no gods, no masters.
Yeah, Sweet Spot kind of follows the religion of the Primes, as in he's aware of it, and he kind of knows the history, but he's not so observant to just be a blind servant to their whims. And until he actually meets one in person, he probably isn't going to be that overwhelmed by it.
Were you dead on that time as well?
Yeah.
When we met Prime,
I wasn't there.
Oh wow,
Sweet Spot wasn't there.
The Vault of Stars, the last arc, the investigation into all of the deaths of Depth Charge and all that. Wow, planking. Meeting Windblade and Prime.
Pretty much, it was the whole Vault of Stars and the triumphant return of the heroes to the political stage, and following up with all of that turmoil that had happened while we were gone.
Okay,
that is everything that Sweet Spot missed.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting for all of us, because I don't think Carapace and Sweet Spot really have talked too much about what you are going to do, and you certainly haven't discussed it with Moonracer or anything. So her reaction is going to be interesting. But if you want to do this now, then we can absolutely do it now.
What's this guy? Are we gonna be muscling back in on getting your turf back? Is that it, or is there something else?
No, this is just to help Navitas survive. He's
well, he'll see it when he gets there.
Yeah,
I can get behind that. Yes.
You all pile back in on the bus, and Moonracer, of course, wants to know what she can help with and where you guys are going.
Do we want to take the bus, or do we just want to jump into Sweets?
Oh, mister, we have a flying shuttle again.
Yeah, it's not my favorite form here on Velocitron, but it survives. It actually has a little bit of an aesthetic change as well. Here, let me show you. And I will transform into basically a hospital helicopter there.
Ambulance.
Interesting.
No, it's a rescue vehicle that is the hover jets there.
VTOL?
Yes, thank you.
Does it have blades or is it thrusters or blades?
Thrusters.
Is this a new form or just an alteration of an old form?
It's the old form that I had. That was also a rescue vehicle.
Okay.
And it was also a VTOL. But now the paint job looks like an Earth medical
Ambulance.
kind of a VTOL.
Ambulance.
Right. So you look like Ratchet
So
and
again-
Wheeljack.
Yeah, mostly white with some white crosses.
All right, we'll never have to stop at the red light again.
Who stopped
All right.
at red lights?
What's the red light?
You guys pile into Sweet Spot's new mode here. Moonracer is gonna. I mean, she just assumes that you're switching transportation.
We will invite her on.
Yeah, you're gonna want to be here for this.
Oh, okay. My day is free, so I'll join you. Let's go.
On the ride over to where Navitas is, basically the back door to his brain space is, that I crashed through before. On the way over there, I'm going to show her the data that I found on the repair and maintenance records that were basically in control. They're being controlled by
Outburst.
Outburst. Thank you. Outburst. So, she'll now be privy to why Navitas is running so poorly recently.
This news is deeply concerning. Outburst is one of the chief aldermen, and he's in charge of several major districts, and he's been trusted with the maintenance of the city. This information shows that he's been intentionally slowing down and stopping the repair process.
Sabotage.
Right. Because he wants those districts to become dangerous to be inhabited. That's why he's able to get a hold of them for such a low price, because people just aren't willing to live there anymore. And without the demand, the folks that do own those properties have to sell at a much, much lower price.
So he's like Lex Luthor, but Velocitron.
But faster.
And you think that's why he's been converting a lot of these homes to like airpads, and he's become famous for investing in this like air transportation business that no one has invested in and no one has really used. Is that why you think like he's trying to keep these? What is his end goal? Like, I'm seeing the numbers here, but I'm not seeing what the actual goal is.
Well, when the only safe way off the city is through his air flights, I believe people will pay through the nose, or through the grill, if you will, to get a seat on these aircrafts that only he will be offering.
Huh? That's a long con.
Diabolical.
It's super villain as hell.
Anyway, we can put a stop to all that and keep everyone in the city here safe.
Don't tell him yet.
Sure.
Don't tell him yet. Don't tell him yet. Let it happen.
All right, we can do that. We're nearly there anyway. Just a few more blocks and right down over there.
All right. During the ride, it's like as soon as we get started, Magnum will become Magnum Hat, and actually, this will probably be very convenient, since Pythagoras will connect him to some sort of port inside Sweet Spot,
Chicka,
and do. Bow, bow, bow.
Giggity.
Bow chicka
And-
wow wow.
Hello, old friend. You gonna buy me dinner first?
Pardon me, Sweet Spot, but you have to you have to forgive me for being a little careful
I
of your
totally
identity.
understand why you're doing it, and I know what you're doing. You go right ahead.
Why?
I have nothing to fear, nothing to hide.
All right. So he'll do,
Infect the virus.
Ejector seats.
Yeah.
so he'll do like full diagnostics and compare all the data he has already on Sweet Spot, and just to do with the goal of trying to verify or disprove his identity.
All right, go ahead and give me a medicine check. Mag hat, medicine check.
Can I add my Mag Hat bonuses to it? Because it normally doesn't apply to medicine.
I'll aid.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've picked up a little bit of knowledge about medicine. Here's how these things should be written down.
I donate.
I rolled a 34 for my bluff check.
I tried. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Tried it, failed.
All right, well, just me, myself, and me. 33 medicine.
33. Wow, okay. That was, well, Sweets, if you want him to think something different, you certainly bluffed him, so if you want to hide something, you're welcome to do it. Otherwise, Magnum, it looks like, he looks legit.
Yeah, pretty much completely unchanged. Exactly the way you remember it.
It's not what should be there.
But the color, I can't understand.
But how did
It's
the
just a
color
different color.
change?
There's no scientific reason for that. It's just my choice. Much like you and your choice to wear a pink coat. That's your choice. No one's judging you.
Turns out Magnum's like a dog. He's colorblind. He never knew it.
All of his clothes have always been gray.
No, it was the space bridge. Remember the space bridge cleaned your coat?
Yes. It's going to take another 100 years to get it back to the right color. The chain smoke Lucky Strikes.
Sweet Spot, you glide in for a landing. As you kind of bob and weave your way through the buildings, you get yourself down to the lowest levels of the city as possible before you land and transform. It's still going to be a little bit of a journey down some corridors to the space that you found before, though.
All right, this way.
Keep on heading down the corridors, down staircases, down hallways, around turns, down this almost labyrinthine.
Labyrinthine. You swap the I and the A there.
This labyrinth.
I like it though. The Liberatian. It's very sparkly. It's got sequins. You know.
And you eventually make your way to a very familiar hallway with a closed door.
My goodness, a familiar hallway.
Well, familiar to Sweet Spot.
An unfamiliar hallway.
What is Moonracer saying right now?
She's wondering like where you're going because she's never been this deep into the city before.
I know.
Where are you taking me? Do you even know where you're going?
Yeah, I remember this passageway. Last time I traveled, I was going a lot faster, though, of course.
This is like some of the earliest parts of the city. Like, we're right almost at its foundation.
That's right, we are.
And this tracks, too. You can actually like, feel the vibration of the road like underneath you. You probably think you're at most 40, 50 feet above the ground.
My goodness, it says Primus was here.
I will give it a couple of quick knocks and then open the door.
You open the door to Navitas' spark chamber, and inside is a glowing green spark. And you notice there, Sweet Spot, that it is substantially dimmer than it was the first time you were here. And as you approach where his spark is, you kind of hear this like static coming in from the speakers around you, like someone like trying to speak.
Sweet bot. Did I? You too? No, it's been rated. The doomed.
You issued me a challenge, and I have not only accepted, but met that challenge. I have for you a replacement. You'll be up and running in no time at all. At full speed. Better than full speed.
And all you get is just a blast of static from the speakers.
Whoa. This gentleman here. Well, no, there aren't.
What's this lady? This lady's name?
Moonracer.
Moonracer. All right.
Yeah, so Moonracer, like when she enters the room, she is silent because she has never been in this space before, and it's like walking into, like, let's say that you were able to like walk through your own body. It's like walking through like the heart of your own like body. It's this eerie place, and from everything that she knows, this should be a lot healthier looking.
Yep.
What is wrong here?
Well, to be honest, Navitas is dead. And what we have is his only means of survival, and thus the survival of everyone on board. Now, would you be able to get word out to the city in general?
Yes, I could. I could have an announcement made. What's going to happen? What is going to go on? What? Explain yourself. Explain yourself, Ambassador.
You need to warn people.
I'm going to pull out the briefcase.
That's right. You got to warn people that the city is about to stop for a brief period, and everyone should flood to the front to be ready for the repowering of the drivetrain.
I don't you think we should wait a moment on this and not like stop? And you can tell that she's not certain what to make of this. Like how she knows.
If we give Outburst a chance to oppose us, he certainly will, and he will succeed because he is currently in power. He has the people behind him. The only way to save the people is to do this now, before he is aware of it. This will save Navitas. I truly believe that.
And as the five of you all kind of turn to face the spark chamber, she realizes that, shit, this is happening now, and she's going to have to deal with this. So you see her, she pulls out her comm unit, makes a call. You can hear a little bit, just kind of over the din of the space, and Code Omega, initiate Code Omega immediately. And she makes like a few other calls, like just like warning the higher ups in the city of like, hey, the city is about to stop. Like the people are in the spark chamber right now, and the city is about to come to a stop. And you can kind of hear like the little tinge of panic in her voice. Like
Tinge?
Yeah.
I hear the echo of it, bitch.
Because for the most part, she's met most of you for the first time just today, and she's like, oh my god, this is happening.
Hey, Legionnaire, you ready? Yes.
That didn't sound forced at all.
Let's do this.
It'll be easier to explain, like if we, come together.
All right, let's go.
It'd be hard to refute once we come together. All right. Am I in the middle now? Is that it? Is that where I go? Am I the head?
I think I'm in the middle.
Use the middle. You were. I'll form.
All right.
I'll
now,
form the
thumbs. Do I grab you here? Is this where I grab you?
Oh,
this doesn't feel right. Although it doesn't feel wrong either.
Let go, please.
And the five of you join together to form Alloy again. And as you are pulling yourselves together into one massive bot, You hear the city speakers come to life. Attention all citizens, prepare for emergency stop. Everyone is to proceed to solar shelters immediately. I repeat, all citizens prepare for emergency stop and proceed to your local solar shelter immediately. Attention all citizens.
We pick up the small suitcase and open it up. It's like it's like the engagement ring. Opening up, it's all sparkly.
Or the suitcase from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. So inside is the green spark.
Oh, that thing again. The gnomes.
You know what? I am conjuring thoughts of gnomes in my head right now. Is that what that did to you?
You were actually seeing stuff. That's so weird.
You pull out the green spark that you guys found way back in episode, what was it, 4 or 5? Something like that. And you attempt to merge it with Navitas's spark. I need 2 checks from you guys. A very important medicine and life science check.
All right.
Are we going to need to kind of do our weapon former combine thing to just create a power surge in order to bridge that gap?
You'll find out in a moment.
+2 to medicine and +4 to life science, actually.
I gave +2 for medicine and life science. I also gave you a +2.
All right.
I knew I had it in me.
All right. Pythagoras gets, with the help of everyone for medicine, he gets a cool 50. He's got to be a C note. Half a C note, right? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's the first time I think I've gotten a 50 in anything.
Just round up. Just say it's 100.
And for the life science, he's got, with everyone's help, 40.
40,
Nice.
A 50 and a 40. Those are 2 solid numbers. God, you guys must have had a ton of aids on that one. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good work, because that was going to be a difficult check to pass, because as you imagine, merging 2 sparks together is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do. You insert the green spark into Navitas's pulsing core, pushing it carefully inch by precious inch until Navitas's spark subsumes the new one. The lights around you flicker and dim, the only illumination coming from the core. Seconds pass, but the room remains silent. Within the city above, lights flicker and die, the floating highways lose power and drift down to Delta's foundation. But it's the silence that frightens everyone. For countless years, the drone of the city's mighty engines have been all-encompassing. Now, it's deathly quiet. From the south, an eerie red light blankets the city. Dawn crests the horizon. A fireball of epic proportions stretches from one end of the sky to the other. The few seconds of silence are obliterated by a sound like a hurricane, and the towering inferno bears down on the stationary city. Outside the room, you hear warning klaxons go off. The voice of the city announcer tells everyone to evacuate the southern districts. Not that it's going to do much good. The spark flickers one last time before it pulses to life, releasing a wave of energy into the room around you. Holographic displays appear around the spark, showing all the critical areas within the city. And as you watch, Navitas begins rerouting resources, bypassing the damaged areas and restoring himself to some semblance of functionality. The city lurches forward, the floor angling upwards beneath you. You grab onto anything you can find as Navitas transforms.
What?
Oh my gosh! We're gonna see Navitas in its form.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay. Holy
Triple
shit.
changer.
That was great.
From the Secret Files of Teletran 1, Empire of Rust is written and GM'd by Michael Ordway. Headmaster Magnum and his partner Pythagoras are played by Matthew G. Candidate Sweet Spot, representative of Velocitron, is played by Adam H.U. The Decepticon warrior Wild Strike and his partner Nyko are played by Mike M. And Carapace, the beast soldier of primitive Eucharis, is played by Patrick Finn. Additional characters are played by Michael and Cassandra Ordway. Empire of Rust is supported by the humans and networks of planet Earth, whose online networks provide access to libraries of sound effects and music, such as Storyblocks, Zasplat, Blue Zone, and Dark Fantasy Studios. We are distributed by the Transmissions Podcast Network. Stay up to date with all the latest news and reviews in the world of the Transformers by going to transmissionspodcast.com or searching for the Transmissions in your podcast app of choice. You can communicate with the heroes of Iacon by joining us on the Transmissions Discord channel. There you can discuss episodes, talk to the cast, and download the rule set used in the Empire of Rust. Teletran 1, signing off.